Welcome to the first ever hot compost that I've ever done. I put this together about 4 days ago. There's I think 4 or 5 layers of weeds, paper, cardboard and grass clippings. And on Thursday last week it was about this high, and so it's already reduced by about half. And I tested it yesterday with this, and it got to about 41 degrees Celsius. That was around maybe 107, 108 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to have a better look at the compost today, pull it all off, test it again, and just have a look at it because I've never seen it. So it's been 4 days today. It's quite amazing. You put your hand on top here, it's very warm. It's almost at 120 degrees Fahrenheit. It's about 48 degrees Celsius. So I'm quite happy with that. Now I know they say not to put too much water on it, so don't want it sopping. Apparently you just want it, like when you squeeze it, just one little bit of water. At this early stage it might be okay just to top it up with some more water. We'll come back in a few more days and see what it looks like. I think about 3 days. It's reduced again. This is what it's looking like. It's so compacted. So noticed over here, I'm not sure if you can see it. To me it feels very damp. 100 degrees Fahrenheit, about 37 degrees Celsius. I don't know why that is. Whether it's too watery or too much water in it or what, I don't know. Anyway, that's the update. I think it's about day 7. G'day everybody, it is day 9. Current temperature is at around 18 degrees. I'm not sure if you can see that. And we'll see what the compost is. It's measuring about 32 degrees Celsius, around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And when I measured it about 4 days after I put the pile together, it was up at around 50 degrees Celsius. And every 3 days it seems to have reduced temperature by about 10 degrees Celsius. So it'll be interesting to see when I turn the pile and test it again in a few days' time whether it is increased in temperature again. It's really hard sometimes to get the temperature gauge into the pile. That could be because of the paper that's underneath this layer, but you can see that it's certainly reduced in size, but some of the weeds are still very much intact. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when I start turning it. Turn the first layer, and it's just interesting looking at this. It almost looks sort of burnt, and there's some sort of white fungi type stuff, or mold or mildew or something. So this is what it looks like underneath that first layer. Add a little bit of water as I go. So interesting smell, some of them not pleasant. I don't quite know what it is I'm looking at, so I'm just showing you guys. The smells are certainly getting funkier. One thing I'm noticing is that the deeper I go into the pile, the drier it seems to be becoming. So it's interesting looking at the pile. It's kind of starting to look a little bit more like soil from when I started, but when I was looking at it and peeling it away, it didn't. But if I compare this to the way it looked when I first put it together, it certainly is breaking down. So I shall cover it with the tarp. Hi everybody, so today is day 20 of the first compost pile that I put together, and I'm going to open it up and have a look at it, and also turn it and just have a look at it because I don't really know what to expect. The first thing I notice is that there's a huge amount of little insects on top, little flying insects all over it. It's certainly broken down more, This is the second time I will have turned it in 20 days. I'd be interested in other people's thoughts on how it's looking after 20 days. It originally started kind of like that. See the paper, a lot of the shreds of paper are still sort of intact. The idea that I have at the moment is to have three. There's pile number 2 and there's pile number 3. It's pile number 1. Is having like a rotation system, and so that would be, so I'd move this pile here and eventually that pile there to here and that pile there to there, and just sort of rotate them around. So that's the idea anyway. We want to fill up, we want to put soil on top of this to create garden beds, so we need a lot of soil. So this is sort of the humble beginnings of trying to generate our own soil from our grass clippings and weeds and old paper, just to try and get the ball rolling. It looks a little drier than it should be, so start putting more water on it. Turn that pile in. Yeah? We had about 100 millimetres of rain in less than a week. And it's still flooded in a lot of places, and so the frogs are out. I'm not sure if you can hear them or not. I'm noticing as I go further down that there's more and more less broken down material. I'm not sure if that's because it gets hotter further up, so it breaks down quicker. It's amazing how much the pile reduces in size as it breaks down, I should say. I'm still learning all the lingo of my profession. It's been professional counsellor, therapeutic kind. So I've spent a lot of time indoors and inside people's heads and hearts and minds and emotions and so on. So this world is very new to me, but I'm very much enjoying it. It's good to see worms in it. Hoping to break it down. I've just turned it for the third time, and I think it's been about 3 weeks, so I'm averaging once a week. And I actually don't know when it's at the right stage to use. I think it's still needing some more time to break down, but if anyone can sort of describe or point me to a video that would help to describe when a compost pile is actually complete and ready to put on the garden, that would be great. As you can see, I didn't know what I was doing back in 2016. While I'm still perfecting my compost process, I certainly am a little better at it now. So join me in an upcoming video series where I film my compost process from beginning to end, showing all the elements that make up the pile, the building of the pile, and monitoring the entire process until we see the finished product. It's day 2. Check temperature. It's hitting about 75 degrees Celsius, so I'm going to turn it. So I'll be back in 2 days to test the temperature again. If it's still above 73 degrees Celsius, I'll turn it again.